critical thing here is to be prepared. You need to set up a framework and an infrastructure to then allow you to move really, really quickly. You need a clear idea of what's the overarching goal for your communications and what problems are you trying to solve with your communications, how are you trying to engage with people, what kind of utility you're going to provide, or what kind of entertainment or content are you going to provide to people. Have that framework in place, and then have a really solid way of listening to the world around you in the context of every day, and then you can tailor your communication, tailor your message to that individual situation, but understanding the framework within which you're operating. So it's about moving fast, but on some tram lines, so it's not, it doesn't have to be super reactive, you need to be super organized more than anything else. But I think with the way the world's moving, the way that digital has driven new thought processes within people, new models of trading, the whole market now is catching up with this. And I think media owners are starting to understand that they have to trade in different ways if they're going to steal competitive advantage. So just getting money from the eyeballs they represent isn't really enough. They need to leverage all of their assets. So they need to start leveraging, well, you know, I can give space to reach these people, but I also know a lot of information about these people. How can I use that data to make this a bit more interesting? And also, I have my own rights deals. I have my own other things that I'm operating in. How can I bring those to bear for this deal as well? And that is kind of a win for everyone. They can monetize more of their assets, more of the talent that they have internally, and more of the understanding of they have of their customers and consumers. And then we also get a much more rounded solution that is much more convergent, much more of an ecosystem approach to marketing that take consumers on a journey rather than just sort of hanging something in front of them and saying, look at me. We can take them on a really integrated journey. So the more we use, and not just celebrity, but the more we use other people to have conversations about our brand, the more we're giving away the control of our brands. But in some ways that's a good thing, because it means we're moving from a model where it was the sort of the parent over here or the brand talking down to a bunch of consumers, you must behave in this way, we're going to sell you this thing. And that's not how people talk to each other anymore at all. You know, the divide between figures of authority and figures of I guess non-authority has kind of eroded, and digitization and social media have driven that. You know, you have so much more access to people who were previously only seen on a TV screen, or previously only seen, you know, while they're plying their trade at a sports event or whatever it might be. You feel closer to them because they're giving up more of themselves to you, so you feel part of that brand. And that just is changing the way people want to engage with things that used to be remote to them. Well, I think there's two ways of looking at this. One is that the production of content doesn't have to be ridiculously expensive. I think the production of traditional advertising content has been very, very expensive. And we need to start thinking about that mechanic. Rather than a completely formed 30-second ad, we can have lots of content that some might be perfect, some might not be perfect. I think also technology is playing a big part in bringing down the overall cost of things. You look at the YouTube, these super users who have hundreds of thousands of people engaging with them every day, they're filming this stuff on an iPhone in their bedrooms, and the quality is pretty good. So I think we need to sort of have a shift in the way that we create content. I think the other element, though, is that it's not all about creation. It's also about curation. There is more content than you could possibly imagine out there for people to consume. And a complaint, I guess, of a consumer perspective is that it's almost too much. How do I find the really interesting stuff? How do I surface that? So being a guide for someone can be just as powerful as creating original content. You can massively supplement that by pulling in content that's relevant to your brand, giving other people who are creating great stuff a platform so that they can then communicate what they're doing to other people, and then you can get some benefit as a brand from that as well.